What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Crest of Courage card game channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Metal Garurumon deck that I've built using a lot of the cards from the new starter deck. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So starting off with the eggs, this is something I almost never do. Normally, we're actually playing a full 5 eggs. We've got 4 of the blue Sunomon from BT5 that of course just has the all turns. When this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, it gets plus 1000 DP. That's pretty nice to have all turns. And then I've just got 1 of the new purple Sunomon from the starter deck that just has, when attacking, if you have 6 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1. So get some draw power for us, which is great. However, I would say if you want like absolute 100% consistency, you can drop this egg, just run the 4 of the blue one. I find this one's okay as just a one of. It hasn't really messed me up yet, but it definitely could. So just be careful of that. You might get stuck with the purple egg out when you only have the blue Digivolving Gabumons. That is still kind of an issue until, a couple more sets roll out and we get all the cooler Gabumons that can Digivolve off of any Sunomon. But like I said, it's been working out for me so far. All right, so moving on to level 3s here. Of course, we are still rocking the BT5 Gabumon, who just has that on play, reveal the top 3, add 1 Digimon with Gabumon in its name and 1 Digimon with Omnimon in its name to your hand, and bottom deck the rest. Just your average searcher for the deck. And then next up we have, of course, 4 of the Gabumon X. Digivolves for 0 on a Gabumon, on play or when Digivolving. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X antibody among them to your hand. Bottom deck the rest. So again, just more good search power. Digivolving off of any other Gabumon is great. It does help, to Digivolve him on top of this one, in case we have one of our blue Digivolving Garurumons in our hand. But otherwise, we are also playing 4 of the purple Gabumon, who Digivolves for 0 on any Sunomon, so we can put him on the blue one if we need to, obviously. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. That's pretty nice. We just Digivolve him and pull him out on the next turn. Usually get some free memory, but I would say that also doesn't really come up a whole lot. Usually we're kind of Digivolved up by the time we want to pull them out of raising. But anyway, he also has, when attacking once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. Really strong and heritable, gets to cycle through the deck more, drawing cards, filling up our trash with some stuff. So that's going to do it for all of our Gabumons. Onto the Garurumons. So the main Garurumon we're running here in the level 4s is the new one from the starter deck. Digivolves on a purple or any level 3 with Gabumon in its name for 2. Has a security effect that you may play 1 Gabumon or a Tamer card with a mat in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. That's a great effect. Hasn't really come up for me a whole lot in security just yet, but it is a pretty strong effect when it does. When Digivolving, draw 1 and then trash 1 card in your hand. So as long as you're Digivolving it, out here in the battle area, you get an additional draw and then trash 1. Otherwise, it doesn't really work, obviously, if you're Digivolving it in the raising area. But when attacking, once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. Same effect as the Gabumon. So if you get the whole stat going, you could draw a bunch of cards and trash a bunch of cards and, really cycle through your deck a whole bunch, getting exactly what you need, which I kind of feel like is part of why this deck actually works the way that it does. I have not had any issues yet with being stuck with only the blue Digivolving of any of them, and the purple whatever out, not being able to make it work. As long as you have 1 good stack, you're drawing so much stuff every turn that you have everything you need to make the rest work from there. So yeah, it could unfortunately happen sometimes that you don't get that 1 stack going right away, but hasn't happened to me yet. Just be careful that, that can happen. But like I said, I've play tested a few times. I haven't really run into that issue yet myself. Of course, we're just playing 2 of the old promo Garurumon, who has this amazing heritable when attacking. If this Digimon has Garurumon in his name, draw 1. And that's not once per turn, so you can unsuspend and draw again and again. So a really strong effect to have. I'd love to play 4 of him. However, we really need the purple Garurumon to make it work a little easier. And then we also have the Garurumon X Antibody. I guess if you really wanted to, you could maybe do 3 and 3, but the X Antibodies also really help to make this deck work. You know, Digivolving on top of the purple ones. If you get stuck with one of the blue Digivolving, you know, higher levels, it really smooths it all over. But yeah, obviously he Digivolves for 0 on Garurumon, and he gives us the inheritable that while this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, and it would be deleted by battle, you can trash 2 cards of the same level from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent that deletion. So unfortunately that doesn't help for any type of effects like options or whatever, but you know, it does help to stop it from being deleted by battle at least. And like I said, definitely I would prefer 4 of this, you know, in case you have to Digivolve it on top of him to go into one of our other level 5s. And speaking of our level 5s here, first of all, we're playing 4 of the new purple where Garurumon Digivolves for 3 on any level 4 with Garurumon in its name, or on a purple. And when attacking once per turn by trashing 1 card in your hand, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So you can pretty much count on getting this guy to attack twice every turn, which is awesome. And then when attacking by trashing 1 card from your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So this is, of course, the errated version that did come with the starter deck. So if you have the other version that says something else there, don't pay attention to that. That's the actual effect. Oh yeah, I think it gives his effect as the inheritable, so you can unsuspend. That's not it. But he's still really strong nonetheless. Getting to unsuspend by just trashing a card in your hand is great. And of course we have one of this where Garurumon that we used to play 4 of, but he got reduced to 1 because he's so good. When attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Garurumon and its Digivolution cards, unsuspend this Digimon. So of course you pretty much always get to unsuspend him as well. And he has this amazing inheritable that when you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon has security attack +1. So that's really, really strong for our upper levels to get that extra security check, especially when you combo it with the Where Garurumon X to have that inheritable, because he just Digivolves for 0 on any Where Garurumon. And when Digivolving, you can unsuspend this Digimon. Then if Where Garurumon or X Antibody are in its Digivolution cards, you can return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand, which is nice, but really just the unsuspend that you want to see. So the way that this really works, you know, you attack with either of these, unsuspend, attack again, then hopefully you have X Antibody under there. You Digivolve straight into this guy, and he unsuspends, then he attacks again. So you get at least 3 attacks out of it that one turn just from this one Digimon, which is pretty nuts. And if you do have this guy under him, he gets that additional check when attacking, so it could be potentially 4 checks off of just him. Is pretty nuts. But yeah, so that's our level 5 lineup. You could also play one of the Where Garurumon Sagittarius mode. I was trying one of him out, and that is still a great card. It does give the same inheritable to prevent deletion by battle, and you know, it Digivolves for 0 on any Where Garurumon, and it counts as Where Garurumon, so definitely could play one of him. You could drop one of these guys for one of him, but I just really liked having just the 4 of this. This guy is so good with the unsuspend and everything. Just felt like he was really more crucial to the strategy of the deck. So for that reason, I'm not playing Sagittarius mode, but you definitely could throw one in there. All right, and then onto the level 6s and the one level 7. So of course we are playing 3 of the new Metal Garurumon Ace that just Digivolves for 3 on any level 5 with Garurumon in its name. But of course it's an ace, so it has that hand counter blast Digivolve effect, and when Digivolving by trashing up to 3 cards in your hand, you can gain 1 memory for each card trashed. So when your opponent attacks you, you can essentially end their turn right then and there. Or you can actually just Digivolve this guy on top of your Where Garurumon, trash some cards in your hand, and just keep turn, because you can basically just Digivolve him for 0 that way, which is also really nice. But he also has when attacking by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, which is not bad, gets you some extra deletion in there. You know, you can also just hard play him for 6 if you really needed to. That's pretty cool. But, you know, you got to just watch out for that overflow to get that -4 can kind of suck. Then, of course, we've got 3 of the Metal Garurumon X Antibody, who digivolves for 1 from Metal Garurumon. And when digivolving, you can unsuspend this Digimon, and it gains a blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. And then also your turn once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended, if it has Metal Garurumon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, return all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to their owner's hands. So that's a really strong way to kind of clear the board and get you a blocker out there. But also just the unsuspend is really nice. So one thing I like to do actually, Digivolve this guy, trash 3 cards in my hand, so it's just 0 cost, Digivolve into him for 1. Unsuspend and attack again, and then you can always drop an Omnimon on it for game. You could, kind of move some stuff around and play 2 Omnimons. There's a lot of search power in this deck between the Gabumon, Gabumon X Antibody, and there's a ton of draw power. There's so much when attacking, draw 1 and everything. So I haven't really had any problems seeing the Omnimon when I need to. But, if it gets stuck in security or something like that, it can kind of suck. It's not like super crucial to the strategy, but, having just that, of course, if you don't know what Omnimon here does, of course, having that Blitz, when digivolving unsuspend, then just Blitz attack for game is pretty much all he's here for, just to finish off our opponents. But yeah, if you absolutely need to, you could move a few things around and put a second one of him in. But like I said, there's so much draw power, I haven't had any trouble seeing him yet. But anyway, that is it for our level 6s and 7. So without further ado, let's take a look at the tamers. All right, so starting us off here, we've just got 3 of the new Matt Ishida, who of course is a memory setter, sets your memory to 3 if it's lower than that, and then all turns, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, by suspending this tamer, gain a memory. So if you're losing cards in your hand, you can at least gain some memory for it. And yeah, we're just playing 3 of him. Now, this is where I was kind of saying you could move some stuff around. You could definitely drop this guy down to 2 if you wanted a second Omnimon. Or you could even drop this guy down to 1 or 2 and throw in some of the old Davis. That, of course, is also a memory setter. He's a blue tamer, and on play, you can search the top 3 for a blue and or green Digimon. So it does give you a little more search power there if you really wanted to search for a blue. But there's a lot of purples now in this deck that I'm running here, so that's kind of the main reason I dropped him and just went for the Matt. Like I said, you could drop him down to 2 if you really wanted. But next up, we have 3 Cool Boys. And you could maybe even bump him up to 4 or something. This dude is always pretty nuts. For only 2 cost, on play, search the top 3 cards of your deck. Add a Digimon with X Antibody in its traits and an option with X Antibody in its traits. And bottom deck the rest. So you can potentially get at least 1 or 2 things just from playing him also. And of course, when one of your Digimon digivolves to a same level with X Antibody in its traits, you may suspend this tamer to gain a memory and draw a card. So again, more memory gain, more card drawing, lots of just resource gaining from him. So that's about it for the tamers. So onto our option cards. We're playing 2 X Antibody, of course. Pretty much need to in an X Antibody deck. So of course, if you don't know, just for 0 cost, you pretty much slide this as the bottom Digivolution card under one of your Digimon, and it gets this awesome when attacking. It can Digivolve into an X Antibody, so that's great for the cost still. And of course, security effect, when it's hitting security, you gain a memory and add it to your hand. That can come up sometimes. Ice Wall always seems appropriate in a Metal Garurumon deck. It's such a strong blue card anyway. And if you don't know what it does, it's just main, all of your opponent's Digimon gain, when attacking, lose 2 memory until the end of the next turn. And if it gets hit in security, you just gain 2 memory. It's only a 1 cost blue option, so pretty easy to just drop that if you need it defensively to kind of buy yourself a turn. And then we're playing 4 of Pummel Whack. Now, I do wish this was more of like a Gabumon themed card, but this is brand new out of BT14. Main reason we're playing this right here, this effect, when one of your effects trashes this card in your hand, draw 1. So this really helps to keep our deck moving that much more. All those effects we have, when attacking, draw 1, trash 1, you trash this and you get to draw 1 right back. So we're not like losing anything for it, basically. But in a pinch, it does have the effect to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon for only 3 costs, which isn't too bad. So if you absolutely have to get rid of something, you can throw that at it. But this is mainly here just to keep our resources going, keep our hand count high and everything. So that way we're not just breaking even in all these effects, we're actually gaining a card every time. And it's pretty nuts, it works pretty well. Now you could throw in a blue or a purple memory boost or the new training cards. Those are all great, and I don't know, I haven't really found much use for them. Like I said, there's so much draw power and search power in this deck already. I haven't really felt the need for it myself personally, but that is an option that you could definitely try out. But regardless, that is going to do it for the options. All right, you guys, so just reiterating one more time, this deck I think is really, really strong. I think it's even better than it was before now with these new purple cards. However, that can kind of be a little bit of a downside if you get, the wrong hand where maybe you flip the purple egg and you only get the blue Gabumons, or you Digivolve that purple Gabumon on there and you only got the blue Garurumons, and you just can't see the right card to get it going. That can suck. Like I said, that has not come up for me yet. I've played a good number of games with this deck, and that has not been an issue for me yet. It's just kind of a warning that I feel like that could happen given the way that the deck is currently. But I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I think it's even better than it used to be. There's a lot of draw power. I feel like every time I am attacking with a Wergarurumon, I'm drawing like 2 or 3 cards, trashing one to unsuspend him, going into the X version to unsuspend again, going into then the Ace, trashing a few cards to keep turn, to go into this guy to unsuspend, attack again, and then, just drop in that Omnimon and getting that win. Just when you can full combo, it feels so good. But even without that, a lot of times you can just boom, come out of raising with a level 5, check like 3 security out of nowhere, and then you've already got that tempo going, and it's pretty hard to stop you from there. But that's going to do it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. It is going to help me out a lot. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos like this one. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.